hearing anything.
I'm not even.
I hear background noise. Gigi?
Well, I don't think I hear anything myself.
Yeah, I was hearing some background noise. Gigi, are you with us?
Ms. Brown, I think you're live. I think.
Yes, we are.
Are we live? We were waiting for the screen to go away. Okay, we're live. We'd like to open the council meeting. We're having some technical difficulties right now, so if you can just bear with us. Our mayor is still trying to come in. So once he's able to get in, we're going to turn the meeting back over to him. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. So someone's going to take the minutes. I've got some minutes down.
I'll jot notes down as well.
Okay, then, thank you. We have a call to order. We pledge allegiance to the flag. Mr. Burkhalter, if you could lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Father God, I would just like to say I would continue to ask that you give each and every one of us the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to continue to do the things that we feel are in the best interest of the village of Woodlawn. All these blessings we ask in my son's name. Amen. And a roll call, please. Deanna Trapius.
Present.
Eric Burkhalter.
Present.
Pamela Fitzgerald.
Present.
Esther Boyd.
Present here.
Robert Lawson.
Present.
And as I said before, once the mayor is able to get over the technical difficulties that he's having, he'll come in and join the meeting. Okay. We have the reading and disposals of the previous minute.
Rosemary, Mr. Poole is joined by audio. He's not on video, but he is joined by audio. He can hear us, but he's muted.
Okay. Can I get a motion for the approval of the previous minutes?
Is that the April 28th meeting?
The April 28th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes of April 28th, 2020.
I'll second them.
A second.
The meeting minutes that we tabled for March the 31st, we still do not have those minutes yet, so we will table those for our next meeting. I don't believe we have any appointments or confirmation or any presentations. Gary, did we have any comments from the public? Any questions?
I have a couple. One is from Pamela Williams, who lives on Marion at Forest. She's the new homeowner there. And she sent me an email and she was wanting to know the schedule for paving Forest Avenue. And she also wanted us to take immediate action to gravel patch the large holes on Forest Drive until it's paved. And the third one is removing and clearing what she referred to as the dead trees and brush on Forest that are during storms falling in the right of way. I did respond to her email today and told her, in speaking with Mr. Brown, the Public Works crew will go ahead and get some gravel and fix the large potholes again with gravel, how that road has always been, so that there's no large potholes. The trees and brush is something new to me, and I told her we'd look into it. If it's an issue with the right of way, we can take action on it. But if it's on private property, there's nothing we can do unless they pose a threat to the public right of way, and then we can contact that property owner. The other one I received today was—
I have a question on that, Jerry.
Okay.
Is Forest a dedicated street?
I'm trying to find that out. I have to go through the ordinance book to see which, if Forest is a dedicated and accepted street.
I don't believe it's ever been dedicated.
I don't believe so
It's an
either.
issue over the years. It's never been a dedicated street.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, was it changed to a dedicated street due to the new houses? But if that hasn't changed, previously it has not been a dedicated street. So that's what this is. Yeah. Wait a minute, Brown, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. To my recollection, it's still a paper street. I don't know. It has not been, to my knowledge, either deemed a dedicated street. Yes, Ms. Boyd.
Excuse me, may I ask, how would the builder have been able to, wouldn't they have had to pull some kind of permit or something with Woodlawn to build it? Would we have allowed them to build a house on a paper street or whatever that means?
Yeah. Jerry, you want to chime in on that?
Yes.
First of all, I'm trying to, let me back up here for a second. Gigi, if you can hear me, can you try to unmute Mr. Poole? He's on the phone and he said he can't.
Okay. Hold on one second.
Ms. Boyd,
It's the phone number that ends in 888 is the number that Mr. Poole is calling from.
Ms. Boyd, Jerry,
Yes.
Miss Williams' property, her actual address is on Marion Road. So
I realize that.
to go back to what Ms. Boyd is asking, why would the village allow her to build a single family dwelling on a paper street?
Okay, thank you.
Her address is on Marion Road. However, her garage is on the paper street, which is Forest.
Okay,
And also, we've had several houses built on paper streets, Miss Boyd. Our previous officer, Mr. Surreal, built his house on a paper street.
Correct.
so do they sign some type of legal document, or is there some type of agreement they realize they're on a paper street? Because to my understanding, we are not responsible for a paper street.
We are not responsible for paper streets until streets have been constructed to the proper standards. The village does not accept those, and they're not dedicated to the public.
Okay, that just seems, I'm at a loss for that because it seems as though that should be a clear understanding and communication between Woodlawn, the village, and whomever is building a house and the builders. There's got to be some type of paperwork, wouldn't it? That I know I'm building on a paper street and that you are not responsible?
Well, I don't know that we can assume that is what happened. I think we need more information to determine whether or not they knew that information or not. We don't really know.
And my screen just went blank with the Zoom.
In terms of what?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
My screen just went Zoom.
Okay. We'll continue to talk if we can hear you.
We can see
You as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see you too.
You can see me too? I can't see anyone.
All right.
Well, Mayor,
So, yeah, I'm here. I don't see you guys, but I can hear everybody.
okay.
I just want to kind of just piggyback real quickly, not wanting to spend a lot of time on the whole thing. with Miss Williams. So just so everybody know, I think I heard Jerry saying that he responded out. I responded as well on behalf of council. So when we get those responses, I'm hoping that we don't flood these responses by 6 or 7 different emails that will possibly say something totally different. So we want to be very careful of how we're responding to that. So I know that I had reached out to Jerry, letting him know that I was going to respond, just to let her know that we were aware of that. I just want council to understand that when we have these little pressing things, we need to let the manager kind of handle that. Because one of the things that she mentioned in her email was that she spoke with someone from council, and council told them that yes, we should gravel that street. Now, council, please understand, if you're not understanding what these paper streets are, question somebody. Because again, I think I also heard Mr. Burkhalter talk about it as well. These paper streets they're all over the village. Not a lot of them, but they're out there. And people are building on them. It's nothing saying that they can't.
Right.
But in this case, with her mailing address and her street is Marion Road.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, but I thought the only response I saw was from you. I didn't see anybody else's response, so.
Yes, Jerry responded. Jerry responded.
Anybody else? I thought you said another person had responded to.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm saying that when we receive these, it just to me doesn't look very professional that we're sending 6 and 7 emails to this resident, and all of us are going to say something different in that email, which could give them the wrong outlook, wrong direction in their thinking. So I'm just saying, as a council, we need to be careful of that, making sure that our village manager takes care of those issues. Somebody needs to change their battery.
Is that it, Ms.
Motion detected.
Yes, I was
Thank you,
curious at the whole situation. I read the email. I don't know the resident, and I have never spoken to the resident.
Okay.
I read the email, and I am just asking you a question about the paper. Okay. And so I didn't know if you were referring to me, Mayor, but I don't even know who this lady is. I just read the email, and what I saw was only you and Jerry that communicated with her. But
correct. That is correct. I'm not referring to anybody. I'm just saying what was in the body of the email and what she relayed to us. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that to anybody. Okay.
Okay, Jerry, was there another?
All right, thank you, Vice Mayor. Appreciate that.
Okay. Jerry, was there another?
One more. Mr. Mike Donahue sent an email at 5 o'clock this evening, and my report I was going to tell you, I'll just go ahead and tell you now. Great Parks of Hamilton County is looking at extending the hike and bike trail from Glenwood Gardens to Whitten Woods. So I have a meeting Thursday with Tim Zellick from Great Parks of Hamilton County. They're looking for a letter of support from the village in regards to the extension of this hike and bike trail. And Mr. Donahue was asking today, he was wondering what planning considerations will the village focus on to prepare for the future. He's believing that this might strengthen our Springfield Pike Business District with more people using the hike and bike trail. So I just got that today at 5:07 p.m. I did not respond back to him, but I thought I'd let council know since he kind of shot it in that direction. So we're always looking at ways of improving Springfield Pike, and we'll continue to do such.
Ms. Boyd?
You say extending it, Jerry. Where does it go now, the bike trail? Because I know when you go down into the park, no bikes allowed. So where does the bike trail end or be? At Glenwood Gardens, the bike trail end? Where is it at there?
I'm not sure if it is a hike and bike trail. If I called it that, maybe it's only a hiking trail or walking trail.
Oh, the hiking trail. Okay, there is an extensive hiking trail. Okay, I'm sorry.
Goes down through Wyoming, through Woodlawn and up to Glenwood Gardens, and they want to look at extending that to Witten Woods.
Okay, because the hiking trail in Glenwood Garden, I think there are no bikes allowed, and that's why I was asking that. I mean, I was for the interest. I think that is one of our assets in Woodlawn is Glenwood Gardens. Just it's wonderful. So
just going forward on that hiking trail, maybe we could table this for discussion later. Maybe we can put some of the instruments that we haven't utilized yet for the park. Maybe we can put them along the hiking trails. Maybe we can table this for later.
What instruments are you referring to, Mr. Lawson?
For the Harmony Park.
Oh, no, the Harmony Park have already been identified for a spot.
Okay, I was just saying maybe if all the instrument wasn't going to be used there, since people are hiking and biking, it might be an opportunity for us to showcase some of our instruments.
Okay. Well, we definitely, Jerry, if I can recall, what letter did we send out not long ago in support? And it was just a letter of support from council. That's totally different. I know what it was.
You were thinking the same.
Something totally different.
Mm-hmm.
It's something totally different. I just captured it. But okay, Jerry, that's good. That's good stuff to know. That's good to know that they're looking to do that. So is it that they're asking for a letter? Is that what Tim is saying from over there at Hamilton County? I mean, the Park District?
Yes. Tim Zellick. He's with their planning department with Great Parks of Hamilton County.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Mayor?
Go ahead, Mayor. Vice Mayor, go ahead.
I was just going to say, you want to go, since you're in the meeting, you want to go ahead with.
No, man, once you start the meeting, you go ahead and run.
Okay, FYI, everybody, the hike and bike trail on the east side of Springfield Pike, that is biking as well as hiking. The trail that goes behind the pool and down it through Wyoming, it is biking there. All right.
Right. Okay. What's up?
Is that it?
All right.
I have one other thing too. Concerned residents in regards to the shooting range. They have shooting range concerns down Timberland Drive. The range sits behind Timberland Drive at the end and around the cul-de-sac behind those houses. They wanted to know if there's some sort of noise ordinance of some sort with kids being home from school and adults working from home. They said it's been excessive. And they asked that I try to look into this.
Mr. Poole, you were working.
Let me just jump in real quick on that in terms of we are meeting continuously with the vice mayor down in Cincinnati in that law committee about what they are looking to do. We have wrote letters, we have addressed them in their meetings. And it's an ongoing thing. So it's not as if it's been dropped. But Pam, this is something that has been going on for years. And so I just made a call to Vice Mayor on Monday because with all of the COVID going on and you got less traffic out there, I was blown away how clear I could hear that range where I live at. And I'm on top of the hill.
Right.
So I was outdone with that. So I just wanted to jump on with him so he understands the urgency that we are having. But again, the mayor, myself, and Lincoln Heights, we are continuous to be on there advocating for our residents over there. But it's a process, Pam. It's a process. You know, our goal is that they move it, but then they keep coming back with it's an issue with money. So it's an ongoing thing. And, you know, when we get some type of resolution, certainly we'll share with this body. but it is being addressed.
Do you know if it's certain times that they are at the shooting range
Well, they-
more than others?
Well, they tell us. Yeah, they tell us that the range is open from 9 to 3:30. I beg the difference. Because what we do is we've asked residents, we've selected so many residents out on both sides, Lincoln Heights and Woodlawn, to just do some recording for us at certain times. So we've given them a time to listen to that. If you hear that, send that to us. And we're getting these calls or these text messages 6, 7, sometimes 8 o'clock in the evening about them being out. Now, our understanding is that the police department, just the police department, they are entering and they are in those that range from 9 o'clock to possibly 3:30. After that, then they have like their SWAT and their high tactic groups or whatever. Those are the ones that we're hearing after 3:30. But that's not our problem. Our issue is you told us that at 3:30 there should be no activity at that building, but it is. So again, it's an ongoing thing. We are dealing with them. It's something that we are picking up probably once a week, dealing with them. So again, you can go back and let those folk over there know when you speak with them that yes, we are continuing to deal with that, but it's not a quick fix. It's just not. It's not a quick fix. And we talk about a noise ordinance. What is that noise ordinance? What does that mean? That means to me that we would have to pay for somebody to come out and what is the decibels that are coming from that area over there. So it's one of those things where it sounds like we are right in our backyard, and it is literally. Again, it's not a thing that Woodlawn can tackle all by itself.
Mayor?
I was gonna say, I think it's something that we need to tackle because things are changing fast. You got a lot of people that are working from home that, are working during those hours.
Yes.
I think it's gonna be,
yes.
As years go by,
I get that.
it's not gonna be
right.
It's just people are just gonna go back to work.
I get that.
And
right.
You're on calls and they're shooting in the background of those calls. I mean, I just think it's something we definitely need to put our foot on and try to figure out.
So let me clarify real quick. I'm not saying that we're not putting our foot on it. We are putting our foot on it. But this is affecting not just Woodlawn. So I'm saying that we're not going head on all by ourselves. This is affecting both communities. And so we're coming together in a strong force to let them know that it's just not happening in Woodlawn. It's in Lincoln Heights as well. And so again, we're coming strong force. We're meeting with these people. We're having conversations with these people. We have Zoom meetings with these folk down there. So it's not like we talk about it today and we don't talk about it for the next 2 months.
So actually, to be honest, I could probably come back and say, if we've been looking into this for a while, I mean, how do we come up with a solution?
We have a solution, Pam. Our solution is that you move it. But it's not our property to move. Does that make sense? It's not in the village of Woodlawn. So our solution is that they move that. Their solution is A, B, C. They've given us like 3 options on what they're looking to do. We don't like none of them.
I'll tell you what the residents said too. This is the other thing they said. They don't know is if there's trees that they have been knocked down as well. So they don't know if maybe those trees were like barriers, for the sound. And maybe that's causing more of the sound to just drift out of its normal, surrounding where you can hear it where you live.
Right. I'm not for sure what that looked like, Pam, but just understand that this isn't an issue that came about when that subdivision was built. This has been going on. When I say years, I mean years.
Right.
Anybody that has grown up in Mariana Terrace will tell you that this is something that has been going on for years. And I don't know if the community just didn't want to stay with it, how that was. I don't know. But it's not conducive for our communities at this point. Not with everything that's going on, not outside of COVID, because this was before COVID. So I get all of that, but this is something I just want you to know, to share with those residents that we are working on this. is not a light thing. And I've had conversations with some of the residents over there. So not for sure if this is just redundant. Hey, let me go speak with her. She's on our street. But just know that we are absolutely dealing with this.
Mayor, I understand. I just think with more people at home.
No worries.
It's just,
right.
You know,
I get it.
People at home when they're moving around and not being home as much.
Right.
Just, you know, they hear.
Right. I get it. I get it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rosemary.
I'm sorry. Chief Tillman is trying.
No worries.
I was just going to say, I don't know how our ordinance would be enforceable in another community. So even if we establish the ordinance, the noise is coming from another community. We have no jurisdiction over that.
We have an ordinance, is my recollection, and that's the chief hit the nail on the head. It's coming from it's coming from outside of our jurisdiction. The other thing is my recollection is that the time periods when noise can be emitted primarily focuses on the evening hours and early morning hours, and we would have to look at the sound. Even if we did have enforcement ability over this particular piece of property, we'd have to take a look and see whether or not the firing range is actually even violating the ordinance.
Esther, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you. When I do my little weekly calls with my residents, I talk to somebody in that neighborhood. And is it true that there are shales that they found shales over there? And also, the resident also told me that has been going on. There was some kind of agreement like 15, 20 years ago with these people. So it's been going on that long and there's been no resolve. But she did say that there's some kind of shales. Am I incorrect, or was she incorrect in telling me something like that? Shell casings.
You are correct, Ms. Boyd. You are correct, Ms. Boyd. There have been shells found. In fact, when we met with the law committee the first time earlier this year, we mentioned that. The chief says to me, there's no way that a shell can get that way. Well, sometimes it's nice to know that you have retired officers that we were questioning about. And that's exactly what I said to the chief in the city of Cincinnati. I found that awfully odd when you have one of your retired officers where we found it in his yard. Then the conversation becomes mute. But again, not to shut anybody down. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to let Pam know that those residents that are sharing this with you, please let them know that we are working diligently with the officials and the city of Cincinnati on a solution that is likable by all. Okay.
Is there any other
I can hear you, Pam.
Thank you.
No worries.
Is there anything else, Jerry? Pam? Okay. Committee reports. The Finance Committee met on May 18th.
Mr. Lawson had something to say, I believe.
I'm sorry, I didn't see Mr. Lawson's hand. Mr. Lawson?
Oh, we can go ahead. It was a little bit with the gun range. My quick question, I just had a quick question. If the police officers don't practice there, tell me, where do they actually practice that? And I just want to know where they practice at. Do they still have the same problems like at the other area where they're practicing with the gun sound?
Well, Cincinnati owns that property. It was given to them years ago. So that's where they choose to do their outdoor shooting. There are other departments that have indoor ranges like we have, but not a lot. But there are some that have indoor ranges. And when you're talking about trying to get over 1,000 officers qualified, and they have to do that qualification just about every week because you have to rotate to different individuals, can be quite daunting to just try to do that and at a place where you don't have the facility. So to answer your question, that's where Cincinnati's gone. They've gone there for the last, since I've been here for 25 years, they've always gone there. So this has been brought up before, and then it's discussed, and then it's brought up again. I believe what has occurred is that we got some new residents on our street, or some people who wasn't aware of it, and now it's getting vocal attention again.
Yeah, I'm just curious because, I mean, we do want our officers crafty with their firearms. So, I mean, if they have an alternative place to practice, I mean, if we take that away from them, how are they going to be sharp when they go out on call?
That's not Tillman's thing.
Hold on. I got two. Mayor, you want to answer?
Yeah, that's not Tillman's team.
Yeah.
We have our own range.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay, as long as they can practice. I just want to make sure our officers are equipped. If we have ours, that's fine. Don't
Yeah, we're coming.
out of me.
Okay. Keanu?
That's okay. It was addressed. I was just going to say that the range is Cincinnati Police, not Woodlawn, so it's not affecting our officers.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Ms. Fitzgerald?
Okay, I will go over the Finance Committee report. The May Finance Committee minutes. The committee met on May 18, 2020. It was called to order at 7:08 via Zoom. The members that were present was myself, Esther Boyd, and Keanu Tribune, as well as other council members, and Tim and Mr. Charles Willis. Some of the points of discussions from our meeting was was payroll. The village will go paperless for services. And our payroll documents. Our finance director's report, we will have that shortly after I go over the committee minutes. Some of the documentations that he included in the meeting was an LGS update, appropriations and revenue reporting, swim safe, compensation and retention of police and fire staff, our overtime reports, payroll changes, compilation status, audit status, intra-fund transfers, and appropriations ordinances. There were several questions that were asked at the meeting, and it also included things like our voided checks. There were several voided checks that were noticed on the payment listing report, and it was concluded that those were due to mistakes that had been made when the checks were printing out. So there was quite a few checks that had been voided for that particular month. There were also questions about overtime. Do we anticipate the overtime to continue? Overtime was up just a little bit over the last couple months, and that was due to needed heads in our police department, and based on the understanding that of last year's budget, that the overtime that we have will cover that, just to cover the heads that we're short right now. Other questions included road repairs. Since we do have funds available for road repairs, when will that begin? Our manager reached out to engineers about moving forward to the Riddle Phase 2 and Shady Lane. So we discussed the dollars there. Other things that we talked about was the swim safe contract and the cost of it. So far, we paid $8,000 for the month of April. Swim Safe provided us with several options for the 2020 pool season. Open the pool and the payments due as outlined in the current contract. Fill the pool and have them maintain it, but do not open it to the public, and that's a $6,500 cost. And open the pool between June 15th and July 15th. These are just options, which will require additional staff. So that will also require additional dollars. That's pretty much still in discussion, and I'll leave that out for some of the other reports, but that was just discussed in our committee meeting. We also had talked about the topic of income tax update. It was shared that the April 2019, it was shared with us that April 2019 to April 2020 monthly reports were shared by Mr. Willis. Revenue was significantly down by 39% of collection for April 2020. April 2020 was 476,000, and in 2019 it was 781,000. And we know that this is due strictly from the COVID-19 pandemic that has impacted dollars being collected. Our road funds total, our levy collected from July 2019 to April 2020 is $900,272. April 2020, we collected $62,089, which is much less than is expected for the road levy. We also had a quick discussion in regards to moving forward with tax court, and Mr. Willis is still looking into that. New business from the meeting included a proposal to ask department heads to report out to council at each month's finance committee. They will report on grants, financial gains or losses, but it was also suggested that maybe this should happen during our CAL meeting. And this pretty much concluded our meeting. There was a motion at 8:41 and the meeting was adjourned at that time. And that sums up the finance committee meeting from May 18, 2020. Any questions?
Mayor Poole, I see, are you trying to chime in?
I'm here.
Or are you trying to chime in? Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Ms. Brown, I believe, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong, in your report, you'll have the expenditures in the receipts for the last couple of months that council needs to make a floor vote, I believe, to accept those, correct, Emily?
Yeah.
Jerry, you're
Yes, I have those.
up, so we're not really, Lisa, I'm not hearing you, all of what you're saying. Can you repeat that again?
Tim provided the expense and receipts for the month of, I believe, April that council needs to accept. As a floor vote, I'm believing is sufficient enough. Emily can correct me if I'm wrong, but we need to accept those expenditures and receipts.
You're right.
I thought he would do that in his finance director's report. So I left some things out because those are included in his finance director's report.
Okay.
And I think that's coming up shortly.
All right. Tim, you're on board for your finance report.
Okay. Finance director's report. And there are very few changes from the finance committee report that was emailed to everybody in council. I do have a quick LGS update. I spoke with Rose again this evening before I left the office, and they are working diligently to get our financial statements ready. She and I were going over the last few adjustments we made, so I expect that report will be ready for us in time to submit it to the state of Ohio before the filing deadline on June the 1st.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I skipped over the village manager's report. I kind of went out of order. So if I can get Jerry to do the report and then you can follow up with your report. My mistake.
Absolutely.
I can wait till Tim's finished.
There you go, Tim. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
You want Tim to finish and then I go?
Yeah.
Okay. I also included an email, and I believe you all have hard copies of it as well. Two financial statements for the Woodlawn Special Improvement District for 2018 and 2019. Those also need to be submitted to the state of Ohio by June 1. I'll ask for those to be approved along with our expenditures. But the Special Improvement District report should mirror the Special Improvement Fund we have on our ledgers here at the village. I did send out late today, and I apologize for that, an amended financial statement for the 2019 SID. After some discussions with LGS, I changed a couple of those numbers to more mirror the financial activity within the village. If there are any other little adjustments I make to those before I submit them to the state, I'll go ahead and make council aware of those. But those two reports should be ready for the state to go ahead and review as part of that audit as well. Other than that, I do not believe there's anything new outside of what was reported to Finance Committee.
I see Keanu has a question.
Yes.
Yes, thank you. Tim, I just had a question related to the copier lease, the Donald and McCarthy. You had a note that you reached out to them on May 13th and that they were working to get the documentation that we needed. Were they able to get that?
They were. I was able to put with the information they gave me, I was able to put the proper amortization tables together. And those are in our financial statement notes. That will be part of the financial report that LGS is currently preparing.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? And I believe, Tim, there was something that you needed council to approve.
Yes, please. I would like to ask council to approve the payment listing for April 2020, as well as the receipt listing from April 2020. You all should have been provided with hard copies of those. Those all should come to you electronically. And then I would also like council to approve the 2018 and 2019 Woodlawn Special Improvement District financial reports.
Okay. Do I have a motion for approval?
I can make a motion to approve the payment listing and receipt listings for April 2020.
I second it.
I have a question. Is that outside of the legislation? That's something outside of legislation before us tonight?
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Roll call, please. Did I get a second?
Pam did.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. May I have a roll call? Ms. Boyd?
Yes.
Mr. Burkhalter?
Aye.
Mr. Lawson?
Aye.
Ms. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
And I for myself.
And Keanu, aye.
And Keanu. And the other piece of Mr. Engel? Was there
Yes.
something?
The other piece would be the 2018 and 2019 Woodlawn Meadows Special Improvement District financial reports.
I make a motion to approve the 2018-2019 Woodlawn Meadows Special Improvement District financial reports.
Second it.
Roll call, Ms. Boyd?
Yeah, I'm able to vote on this, though it was something before I came. I'm able to
Yes.
vote on this.
Yes. Yes. You got,
Yes.
yes. Mr. Burkhalter?
Aye.
I beg your pardon?
Aye.
Mr. Lawson?
Aye.
Ms. Fitzgerald?
Aye.
Ms. Keanu?
Aye.
And myself, aye. And on both of those votes, there was no one opposing the vote.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry, we're ready for your report now.
We covered a couple of the items earlier, but I do have one more that I want to bring up, and then I have just to give you an update on two other items. Ms. Brown brought to my attention the public parking lot for the trail on Springfield Pike. There's routinely about 10 cars down there that are parked every day. I did go down and take pictures of them just to see if they're there on a regular basis. I believe it's from one of the businesses where those employees are using the public parking lot for employee parking. We do have signs down there. The only signs that are down there, though, say no overnight parking. It doesn't say anything that the parking is reserved for park use. So I don't know any other history about that. If any council member does, please help me. I'm going to try to approach these businesses with parking there. I need to know what the history is.
The parking lot, that's village property, and it was put there for the hike of those people that would use it, that's using the hike and bike trail, to my knowledge.
I also believe that grant money was used for the parking lot it was a hike bike trail grant, and I believe some of that funding was used for the parking lot. So there might be restrictions related to the usage from that grant.
You're exactly right. Mm-hmm. And my concern is, I took the first pictures I took was the day that it was really raining really, really hard. So those cars were there, and it was about 10 of them. And so I know that they were not someone that was using the trail. My concern is when it gets hot, for those people that want to use the trail, that may come to use our trails, they should have ample parking. The parking was put there for that reason. And just like Emily said, there was grant money, so there is stipulation. There was stipulations on that. It was not filled to accommodate parking for the businesses surrounding. My suggestion was first, if we could first try putting up signs that says that parking is for the hike and bike trail only. And if we still have those that are using it and are not using the hike and bike trail, then we take other measures.
I believe maybe the course of action would be to try to find out if I believe that the Granite store is next door to the parking lot, to see if their employees are using that. And if they are, approach the owners and tell them, hey, we had grant money used for the hike and bike trail to put in this parking lot, and that was the intended use. So we're asking your employees not to park there. And then I think we can put signs up to that effect. It's reserved for the use of hike and bike participants.
Whichever approach seems to be appropriate, just so that whenever those trails are used, that the people that are using them, if they need parking spaces, that space is available for them. Ms. Boyd, I saw you had your hand up.
You all answered the questions as you were talking.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any?
Vice Mayor, if you want to ensure that the parking is available, I think we need to establish the signage for enforcement and also speak to both businesses between the parking lots, just to let them know that that parking lot has been established for the hike and bike trail and it will be enforced. That will take everything else out of the equation.
I believe that's pretty much what Jerry was saying, but maybe you two can get together and come up with a solution. Okay?
I have a question, Chief and Vice Mayor. If we're going to put a sign there, I know that the Pike uses that overflow parking at night. Is that sign going to say up until a certain time? Is that going to be?
Well, no, that's going to defeat the purpose of the sign.
To me, that's like a double standard. If you can't park there during the day, and you're not using
Well-
a bike trail, you know, why are we letting someone park there at night? To me, that's like a double standard. That's just my opinion. I see the mayor trying to chime in on that.
Yeah, because I don't look at it as a double standard. And again, the chief has his take on it, and I think it's his expertise. However, what's wrong with saying no public parking from this time to this time?
Well, to me, that goes back to the point that Emily brought up. There was grant money used for that, and there was stipulations around that grant money funding. Am I correct, Emily?
Yeah, I think we need to take a look at the grant documentation to see what restrictions are placed on the use of the property and go from
Right.
there.
I mean, I get all of that. I'm just saying that if we're looking at the stipulations, the issue at hand right now is that we are parking in that during the day when people are walking or whatever on that trail. Isn't that correct?
No, there's no parking available because people are utilizing the parking for their business parking.
Right. So I'm saying, yes, right. So I'm saying, can we just possibly look at, either you can't park here if you're not part of the bike and hike or whatever, or no public parking here from this time to this time. I kind of look at it like used to be on Sunday when you can go downtown and park for free. It's the same difference to me. But again, that's something that the chief and Jerry, if you guys look at that and come up with the solution.
Okay.
Well, I think it would be helpful, like Emily said, that she needs to check the language that was in that grant.
Correct.
Okay, Ms. Boyd.
Okay. No worries.
Chief Tillman, you said that would be an ordinance, a city ordinance that you're putting up down there?
It would be whatever the council passes so it can be enforceable for law enforcement to take action. It has to be something that goes through you guys as enforcement action.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
We should not forget, if it's passed as an enforcement action, there needs to be a penalty attached to it as well. So we need to keep that in mind if we go that route. Is there any other questions?
There's one last thing, and I don't want to beat this down. The park is only open for so many hours. I don't understand making that unavailable after the park is not available. The park is closed at 7 o'clock, I believe, or the hike bike trail is closed at 8. So that's my 2 cents.
I want to piggyback on that with Doobie. Like, if the park is closed, you can't ride. You're not supposed to ride and hike at night anyway, correct? So what would be the problem with someone else use the parking facilities if you're not supposed to be hiking and biking at night?
Because that parking lot was not paid by public funds. So therefore, anything happened to that parking lot that was used by that grant money now be on the village to repair and take care of. If someone who was not patronizing the hike and bike, it's now been destroyed by somebody who's just parking on the property.
Answer understood. Good answer.
And so I think our starting point would be for our law director to review that grant language.
Yeah, we'll have to find that.
That's a good point, Chief Tillman, that you brought up.
My recollection is that grant was sometime around 2010. Or it was finishing up, maybe around then.
I think I was on council, and I started at 2.
It was a long project.
Okay.
I just remember it was in the process when I took over as law director in 2010.
Okay. So there'll be further discussion. We'll look into it further. Okay. Is there any other?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I have another item.
Okay, go ahead.
Council asked about our paving schedule. And for Shady and Riddle Road, our engineers did email me and Anthony and stated that they have people back in their office now. And so they're able to produce the bid documents and that they will advertise on May the 30th for the first time for both Shady and Riddle Road Phase 2. So we're moving along with that one.
Okay.
And then the third thing is,
Jerry, before you go further, looks like Keanu had a question regarding that. No, you just said it. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and the third thing is swim safe.
Mhm.
We brought up in finance and took probably most of the time of the meeting, but as you recall, the letter that I sent to Swim Safe suspended our contract with them. So our pool is closed and it's going to remain closed for the year. We did suspend the contract and asked that we kind of hold on to it because we have a second option, which is next year. Since then, I spoke to Shamrock Enterprises. They do some of the maintenance work at our pool because my concern was if we didn't fill the pool, will we damage the pool since it's an aluminum pool with all the heat during the summer with no water in it. The president of the Shamrock Enterprises informed me that we will not hurt the pool if we don't put water in it.
Oh, okay.
So that to me was a relief that we can leave it empty. I will tell you, we know that we were scheduling to have the pool painted either the end of this season or next, but without no water in that pool, I'm expecting that paint to fade a lot quicker. So we will be looking at painting it probably in September. And Stephen received an estimate, excuse me, from from Shamrock to paint the pool. And I think it was roughly around $15,000 to have that pool painted. But I'll get all that information. If we have to have it bid out, we will, but I don't believe we will have to have it bid. But I'll pass that on to council as we get further into the season. So right now, the goal is not to fill it because if we do fill it and have it running, we probably have more of a liability risk with people trying to hop the fence and no one's there. So we'll leave it empty. We're not going to damage it is what he told me. And Shamrock's been in business for many, many years. I remember they used to be located in North College Hill when I worked in North College Hill. I'm familiar with the company. So he told me that we won't damage that pool because of the aluminum base. So I just wanted to give everyone an update. I will be in contact with, again, Swim Safe and tell them our goal now and our decision is not to open the pool and it's going to remain empty. So we paid them April. I don't believe we owe them any more money, but I'm still not going to notify them and find out if we're in agreement and moving forward with that. Those are the updates I had. If there's any questions.
I see, Ms. Tradu.
Yes, I just had a question. You mentioned Shamrock. You had gotten a quote from Shamrock to paint the pool. Is that a service that Swim Safe provides?
Swim Safe uses Shamrock Enterprises to do the work that they can't handle.
Okay.
If it's a larger pool maintenance item, they usually call Shamrock and get a price from them.
Is there any benefit in us asking Swim Safe to get a quote on our behalf?
Swim Safe will reach right out to Shamrock because we had some aluminum welds that were bad. And when I spoke to Swim Safe, we wanted to move forward and go ahead and get those welds fixed. Swim Safe gave us a price, but it was the price from Shamrock. And I called Swim Safe and I said, hey, I received this proposal to fix these weld joints, but it's on Shamrock's letterhead. He goes, if it was on Shamrock's letterhead, just go right through it, right through. Okay. So that's what we did.
If they maybe got any special pricing or anything that we could take advantage of.
No, probably Swim Safe would mark it up.
Well, we don't want that.
Thinking, yeah. Mr. Lawson?
Quick question, Jerry. Can you check with Swim Safe to see the lifeguards that we have that are certified, is there a possibility, since they're not working this summer, that maybe they can get their certification maybe prorated for the upcoming summer since they couldn't participate in the summer this year?
I can check with SwimSafe and also ask if there's any of our lifeguards that were worked at our pool, if they're interested in work, if SwimSafe can find them an opportunity elsewhere.
Okay, I'm sure they would like that.
Okay, I can ask SwimSafe that.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions regarding SwimSafe? Do you have anything else, Jerry?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Our law director, Emily? Muted.
All right, can you hear me? Okay,
Yeah.
great. I just wanted to update council on one thing. If you get the Ohio Municipal League attorney bulletins, you might be aware that earlier this month, the state Senate passed a bill that would distribute some funding to local governments as a result of COVID-19. That was passed by the Senate. It was referred to the House. The House has referred it to committee. It hasn't moved since then, and I think that happened around May 12th. We're still waiting to see what happens with that bill. If it stays in its current form, it will require all political subdivisions who are receiving funds to pass a resolution affirming that they will only use the funds for the reasons that are set forth in the CARES Act, which are those directly related to COVID-19. The amount of money that the state Senate has put aside for local governments under 500,000 residents is $350 million. There's actually about $1.2 billion available for local governments. My understanding is the reason that they are not allocating all of that money at once is because they are hoping that the federal government will loosen up the restrictions for what those funds can be used for, and use it for more, allow local governments to use that money to make up loss of revenue and cover ordinary expenses that their revenue shortfalls are not covering anymore as a result of the trickle-down effect of COVID-19. So more to come on that right now. There's been no activity, but as soon as I know more, I'll share it with you. So that's all I have.
Is that all you got?
Yes.
The mayor's report. Mayor Poole?
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thanks for running the meeting tonight. Got a wonderful job, Vice Mayor. So want to just bring a couple things want to just bring out is because we haven't been televised, but however, still our census should be on the top of our head. We want to promote that, continue to promote that. I believe that the date has been pushed out, but again, the census is based on numbers we get in terms of funding. So we just don't want to take that off our radar as well. Couple things that we've just been doing around. One is our virtual high school graduation is Saturday, the 30th. I believe it's at 7 o'clock. And Mr. Burkhalter, who is a parent of a senior, I believe it's 7. So if I'm wrong on the time, I do apologize. But be a good idea to just jump on and support them. But we are working on something here in the village. I am a little small committee where we're trying to do a small commencement for our graduates here in the village of Woodlawn. So if you live in the village of Woodlawn, high school and college, we are planning to do some type of recognition. So we've been doing that along. I can't say thanks enough to police and fire. I drop a call to them at a drop notice, and that team just goes out and make it happen. We did a run a couple weeks ago over in the subdivision, and when we got there, when I say we, the team got over there, police and fire, that individual was really just struggling with the fact that she didn't have but this is good stuff. And so when we came around with the police cars, fire department, she lit up, and that made her day. So that's what it's all about for us out here running fire trucks and police cars for parades. But that's what it's all about during this time. So we're going to continue to do that if we can, with the permission of both chiefs. We always get permission from them. But as long as they can make it happen, they have made it happen. So again, publicly, I just want to say thanks to both of them for making it happen for us each time. Again, look for the update for the little commencement that we're trying to put on here in the village. Right now, please pencil it in for June 14th at 2 o'clock. June 14th at 2 o'clock. In addition to that, because of the school district is not allowed to give me any information on any students. Unfortunately, I get that, and I'm okay with that. However, through our ride drive through the village, if you notice where you see a 2020 sign, graduate 2020 sign or anything, if you could just drop me a text or anything, just making sure that I have it. I believe that I have the list. We've been working on that, and I believe I have all of those dates in there. But again, if I don't, if you send me something, I already have it. No worries. Just making sure that I have it. So look for more for that to come as well. Tomorrow is our first charter review meeting. That group will come together. Again, as I put in my email originally, I will come in and just do a overview of what their role is, what they've been charged to do, and I'm out. I'm gone. I don't feel that council or myself should be involved in this process. Let them do that process. Emily is going to, from a legal standpoint, guide them through that process as well. So that is happening tomorrow. So just a quick reminder to all of your delegates that you selected, just a quick call tonight. Let them know tomorrow at 6 o'clock at the building. We will be practicing social distancing. So again, it's a small group. That's why I'm asking that council, please do not come into the building, because I'm trying to keep that number low. Okay. Pretty much that's all I have. I do want to say publicly again, council came out, the village of Woodlawn came out and just really supported Mayor Farley in the passing of her. And so I'm publicly saying for the family, we thank you for that. And at a special time, at a time when they feel fit, I'm sure on an individual basis, they'll get with you. But I'm saying thank you from that family for everything that we did. So that's all that I have. Continuing to just work through this COVID-19 folk and team. It's different. And so we have to just approach it like that. So that's all I have for the good. Anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Burkhalter.
I don't know if you or Jerry had touched on it. Getting a lot of questions as far as our daycare this year. Did we touch on that at all?
We are discussing that. We're having a meeting on Thursday to discuss where we're going with day camp, if we are able to do day camp at all.
Okay.
But we're having that meeting on Thursday.
All right.
Okay. And we'll let everybody know what that plan is. Can you just real quickly, and I think that all of us have been approached by where we're going with this whole COVID thing. Is the pool opening? Is this opening? Is that opening? Now, the individuals that I spoke with, and when I talk about the pool, they say to me, that's the best decision you guys probably could have made for the summer. I like that. Because not only that, we're just showing the safety out there, and I'm very, very concerned about safety. So when we talk about day camp, how does that look? And again, that's a meeting that we're going to have on Thursday, and we'll give some feedback out of that meeting. Somebody else had a question besides Mr. Burkhalter?
I do.
I'm not seeing any. Oh, hold on for a moment. Ms. Fitzgerald. Yeah.
I've got a quick question in regards to the graduates for this virtual graduation. Is that high school and college? Or just
that is correct.
High school and
both.
Are we sure?
Both.
Are we sure we got in touch with all of our graduates? Did you send out a code red, or how did you get in touch with those?
I can't do a code red. Again, I have to, one, it's a privacy thing, Pam, so I can't do that. So what I'm saying is, I've went around and I've grabbed addresses. If I've seen a sign in a yard, in a window or whatever, I jot that address down. That's what I need right now.
Okay.
So I have to get some permission going on, but I need, in order for me to get those letters out, I need the addresses.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I know there was quite a few graduates on my particular street, so I just wanted to make sure, you know, they were.
I may have them all, but again, if you know of those, just send it to me. It's nothing wrong with me having a redundant.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that they're on this list. I do have a running list right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Just clarification, the virtual graduation is being done by Princeton. That is
correct.
That's not what the village is putting on. The virtual.
No.
It is.
I said Princeton's virtual graduation is on Saturday.
Right.
Okay. And then and again, Mr. Burkhalter, you're back there, you're the parent. And again, I believe that they're also going to do a 3-4 day period where they're going to be able to go up, walk across Matthews Auditorium and receive their diplomas.
That's right.
Now that came out of the meeting with the superintendent on Tuesday. So I mean, that's all I can say on that. That's why I said Mr. Burkhalter's the parent. He's back there, but I think that's the gist of what is going on.
Okay. I think my sound is going in and out, so I didn't hear that part, but thanks for clarification.
No problem. So that's all I have.
You're right.
Vice Mayor, that's all I have. Does anybody have any other questions for me?
Boyd.
Ms. Boyd?
Yes, Brian, I understand you were talking about the privacy issue, but for a robocall, is there if you just ask if a graduate would contact a certain number, is that one as well?
I think I'm very successful right now without doing the robocall.
Okay.
I really am. I think I'm very successful with the numbers. I do have a number. I have a number of graduates that are in Woodlawn from Princeton. That's all I could be provided.
Okay.
So based on that and based on my list, I'm right there at that number. So I'm missing a few in there, and I believe that they're in the apartment complexes. If I have anything to do with that, I think they're in their apartment complex.
And also, you have students in Woodlawn that may have graduated from another high school. In particular, we know one together, which you've taken care of, that graduated from the Cincinnati School of Arts. So that was why I was concerned about, what we could do.
If they live in Woodlawn, regardless of them being a graduate of Princeton, they live in Woodlawn.
Okay. Right.
As long as they can be from Moeller, X, School for Performing Arts. I don't care where they're from. They live in Woodlawn, though.
Right.
That's what my concern is. Yes.
And so but okay, because you were saying you had the number from Princeton, but
correct.
But I know the one young man we discussed, and he told me you had told him that you were giving something.
I have his information. Yes.
But there are
I have his information.
Right. And then there are kids. I know somebody, I'll give you some information. Students from St.
Very well. Good stuff. I
think the point was there could be others. And if we did the robocall, you might reach out to those people that are not in the Princeton School District.
That's true. But again, I feel that I understand. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So do we have any other questions, any other comments before we go to legislation? None? Emily, can you guide us through legislation, please?
Sure. The first item is resolution number 9, 2020. It's a resolution authorizing the disposition of property unneeded, obsolete, or unfit for municipal purposes.
Okay, can I get a motion to suspend?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules for Resolution 9, 2020.
Yes, second. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Roll call. Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Yes.
Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
and myself, aye. Can I get a motion for passage?
I'll make a motion for passage of Resolution number 9, 2020.
I second.
Roll call, Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, aye.
The next item is ordinance number 4, 2020, an ordinance amending appropriations for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2020.
Motion to suspend?
I'll make a motion to suspend the rules on ordinance number 4, 2020.
I'll second it.
Okay. Roll call. Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion for passage?
I'll make a motion for passage on ordinance 4, 2020.
I second.
Roll call, Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
myself, aye.
The next item is ordinance 5, 2020, an ordinance authorizing the imposition of a convenience fee for credit card payments made to the village of Woodlawn and declaring an emergency. Is council familiar with this item?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we've discussed it in finance.
Make a
Motion
motion for
for-
suspension of the rules of ordinance 5, 2020.
I'll second it.
Roll call, Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion for passage?
Make a motion for passage of ordinance 5, 2020.
A second.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
and myself, aye.
Make a motion declaring ordinance 5, 2020 an emergency.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Burkhalter,
Aye.
Mr. Lawson,
Aye.
Ms. Boyd,
Yes.
Ms. Fitzgerald,
Aye.
Ms. Trabue,
Aye.
and myself, aye. In neither piece of legislation, there was no one opposing to either pieces of the legislation. Is there any new business?
I have something I'd like to share really quickly, Ms. Brown.
Sure.
I know in previous meetings, we had talked about issue 7, which was the county sales tax increase and the city of Cincinnati earnings tax rollback.
Mhm.
That did pass.
Yes, it did.
So the sales tax increase will take place as of October 1st. And then the earnings tax in the city of Cincinnati rollback will take effect on October the 2nd. So Florida will start to see some of the revenue from that additional sales tax in January of 2021. And if you recall in some of the messaging and literature, they talked about that funding being available for infrastructure improvements in municipalities, not just in the city of Cincinnati. So just want to make sure we keep that on our radar. As we start looking into next year, that's something that we could combine with our road levy funds so that we can continue to improve our infrastructure in the village. And also just wanted to make the public aware of those dates of when they should start to see that increase in the sales tax across the county.
Thank you, Keanu. Do we have anything else? Anyone have anything else? Mayor Poole?
No, I don't have anything. I'm good. Thank you.
Paul? Gonna get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
Second, anyone? I second it. All ayes?
Aye.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Good evening.
Great job, Ms. Brown. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ms.
Thank
Brown.
you.